September 28, 1992, a Pakistan International Airlines Airbus A300 is descending toward Kathmandu, Nepal. On board are 167 people, passengers, crew, and families returning home. Inside the cockpit, the altitude reads 9,500 feet. The mountain is higher, and the crew doesn't know it. Seconds later, the aircraft disappears into the clouds. This is the story of PIA Flight 268. Flight departed Karachi, Pakistan for Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu. The captain was experienced with more than 13,000 flight hours, assisted by a first officer and flight engineer. The flight across the Indian subcontinent was routine, but approaching Kathmandu is never simple. The airport sits inside a narrow valley surrounded by steep mountains. Pilots must follow a precise instrument procedure to descend safely through the terrain. Unlike many modern airports, Kathmandu's Tribhuvan Airport was not equipped with a full precision instrument landing system at the time. Instead, pilots relied on a VOR DME approach, which requires careful altitude management at specific waypoints. The approach path guides aircraft through mountain gaps before descending toward the runway. Missing even one altitude restriction can put an aircraft dangerously close to terrain. As Flight 268 approached Nepal, air traffic control cleared the aircraft to begin its descent. The crew prepared for the VOR approach to runway 02. Cloud layers covered the surrounding mountains, hiding the terrain from view. From the cockpit, the crew could see only clouds and instruments. As the aircraft passed key navigation points, the pilots began descending toward Kathmandu. But investigators later discovered something critical. Flight 268 descended below the safe altitude too early. They were required to maintain 11,500 feet. Instead, the aircraft continued descending toward 9,500 feet. In clear weather, the mountain ahead would have been visible, but the aircraft was flying inside thick cloud layers. Without visual references, the pilots had no warning. The aircraft was still under control, but it was flying far too low for the surrounding terrain. At 7:13 p.m. local time, the Airbus A300 struck the slopes of Mount Batatadanda, about 23 kilometers south of Kathmandu Airport. The impact destroying the aircraft instantly. All 167 people on board lost their lives.
Look at the scorch marks here on the fuselage.
Investigators from Nepal, Pakistan, France, and Airbus examined the wreckage and flight data. The aircraft itself showed no mechanical failure. Engines, flight controls, and systems were functioning normally. Flight data revealed the aircraft had descended below the minimum safe altitude before reaching the required navigation point.
The confusion starts right.
Investigators concluded the crew likely misinterpreted their position during the approach. Without visual contact with the terrain and lacking modern terrain warning technology, the aircraft unknowingly flew directly into a mountain. The crash exposed serious risks associated with non-precision approaches in mountainous terrain. In the years that followed, aviation authorities introduced improvements: enhanced terrain awareness systems, improved navigation procedures for Kathmandu, stronger emphasis on altitude discipline during instrument approaches. Today, aircraft operating in mountainous regions rely on advanced ground proximity warning systems and terrain awareness systems designed to prevent exactly this type of accident. PIA Flight 268 was not brought down by mechanical failure. It was a tragedy caused by altitude, terrain, and a moment of misjudgment hidden inside the clouds. In aviation, mountains cannot be negotiated. They can only be avoided. And sometimes, the margin between safe flight and disaster is measured in just a few thousand feet.
Learn more about aviation safety. Subscribe for more investigation videos.